Welcome to the Blueprint Athletes Basketball Podcast. I am here with Joshua Jeremiah Horford, first of his name, King of the Andals and the First Man,
All right, Game of Thrones.
Lord of the something. What are you? Lord of Grand Ledge.
All right, let's not do all that.
It has to be different every time, so
Fair enough.
I'll do something different for the next one as well.
Thanks, bro.
Gotta give the people what they want, man. Some people only listen to this podcast to hear me introduce you. Like that girl that works at QW.
All right. You're tripping.
All right, dude. Okay. So, episode 9, right? We're just rolling along here. We wanted to focus on ways that players can, or coaches or whoever, I guess, can organize their schedule and know themselves a little bit better to, find time to do everything that they want to do. Because I truly feel like if you're structured about it and if you're determined and focused, there's a way to get in your training and still have time to go see your girlfriend, play your video games, scroll Instagram mindlessly for 3 hours, all that.
Yeah.
I think there's enough time. Right. So I titled this episode, Know Yourself, Ways to Self-Reflect and Organize Your Life/Training Schedule. And I just came up with, and I know this is going to be different for everyone, but I just came up with a generic, there are 24 hours in a day, right? So I just came up with a schedule to fill those 24 hours just to give an example. And then let's just find ways to restructure that to still have time to do everything that we want to do, quote.
All right.
But also at the same time to find time for, training and stretching, whether that's skill training, weight training, maintenance work, rehab work, conditioning, whatever it may be, right? So let's just say for the 24 hours that we're going to use today, we're going to use 8 hours for sleep, 7 hours for school. I think that's the amount of time the kids go to school. I don't remember anymore. It was so long ago. 1 hour for eating, 2 hours for video games, 2 hours for watching TV, 2 hours for homework, and 2 hours on social media. Right? I'm not a math whiz, but I believe that that's 24 hours. Right? So knowing yourself is key. Are you the type of person that could get up early before school and go knock out an hour-long workout? Are you the type of person that needs to get every second of sleep that you can and go to school and then work out, after school or after practice? Or knowing yourself and your tendencies and what you want to do is key, because a lot of times, I'm a get it done as soon as I can,
Right.
type person. For your sake and the kids' sake, I'll work out later. But when we go lift in the morning, we normally go around 7:30. I just like to wake up, chill for a little bit, eat, check some emails, do a little bit of work, go lift, come home, eat, nap, chill. I like to get the work out of the way.
Yeah, you got a good routine.
I really like to just get it done and then just relax. Get it out. And I enjoy doing it, right? So that's another thing. You got to find a way to love the routine, love the training, love the lifting, love the skill work, all that good stuff, right? So for kids, how can you adjust your schedule? And it could be for coaches too, right? How can you adjust your schedule to find time for an hour to 2 hours of work, on your body, on your game, right? Like we said earlier, skill training, weight training, stretching, rehab, whatever it may be. How can you find an hour to 2 hours in a 24-hour day? And I think that it all comes down to prioritizing
Yeah.
you know, that.
Some sacrifices.
Because there's plenty of time to do everything, but something's gonna have to give, right? So on that schedule that we talked about, where it's 8 hours of sleep, 7 hours of school, 1 hour of eating, 2 hours of video games, 2 of watching TV, 2 for homework, 2 for social media. A couple of obvious places that I see are, the 2 for video games, 2 for TV, 2 for social media, right? If you literally just watch 30 minutes less TV and you're on social media for 30 less minutes, that's an hour, right? An hour that you can be putting towards whatever you want to, right? Skill development, strength training, whatever. But so many people aren't willing to like look at it that way,
Right.
And I know that you don't want to necessarily just be like militant about it, like, on the minute, like blah blah blah. Like there's a episode of Hey Arnold for the young kids. You probably don't know what Hey Arnold is, but it's on Hulu. You should go watch it. It's a great show. There's this kid who went to PS 118. His name was like Arnaldo. I don't know how I remember this. His name was Arnaldo, and he was like a rich kid, right? And his parents had like, it was like in the 90s too, but he had like, I swear he had like a cell phone, he had a beeper, like, but his parents had his like schedule down to like the minute. Like, so like after school, like he had like cello lessons, and then he had to go to like a business meeting, and then he had to go like here, and he's like 9, right? But like everything down to the minute.
Yeah.
And Arnold and them convinced him to just like chill out and just go have fun, and to not be like so regimented and everything, and
Right. And
like
he feels
to the
better.
extreme, right? And he like loves it and he has fun because he's a kid, right?
Right.
That's the extreme, right? I'm saying if I went into a gym of 1,000 kids, 990 would tell me that they want to be like a gym of basketball players, right?
Yeah.
990 would probably tell me that they want to be better basketball players, and 900 would say that they're willing to do whatever it takes to be a better basketball player. But are you willing to make these small sacrifices? Like, could you play video games for an hour less a day, or a little bit less social media, or a little bit less just idle time? And I know idle time's great. Like, I love just like chilling and not having to do anything, no responsibilities, right?
Right.
But if you care about developing yourself and getting better that much, then I feel like it's crucial for you to find a way to prioritize your development, as a person. Another thing that kids run into a lot of times is just a million excuses for everything, and they just struggle because it's like, oh, well, the reason why I'm not getting better is because, of this, or I don't have time for this, or, I don't have a trainer, or, I don't have access to like the best gym in the world, or I don't have whatever. Like, if you want to find excuses, there's never going to be an end to that. Like, you could find an excuse for anything. I only like working out on sunny days and it was cloudy outside, like, or I was going to work out, but then I woke up and I felt really hungry and I decided that I needed to eat something. And then when I ate, my tummy hurt me a little bit. And like, dude, if you want to find excuses, they're always going to be there. Right. But if you just want to start taking small steps towards, and let's say you don't want to start committing an hour to 2 hours a day, and it doesn't have to be every day a week, right? I'd say for athletes who are serious, you're training purposefully minimum 5 days a week. If you're serious, serious, I'd say 5 days a week is the minimum, right? So that's literally 2 off days.
All right.
You could work out an hour of skill training, hour of lifting, not like hardcore lifting, or, it depends on the way you break up your workouts and stuff, right? Like, I do mostly like 3 like full body type days, and then 2 like maintenance days, and then maybe 1 day where I go in and just like focus on like stretching and mobility, and then 1 day off in the weight room. I'm not saying people have to do that. I'm just saying, if you were serious and you wanted to go 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, which is only 10 hours a week,
Yeah.
So 10 hours a week, you could literally have 2 days where you don't do any training at all. And you could just stack up the video games and social media and all that. Like, and I know social media is more like a day-to-day type thing, but like, I mean, let's say that you decided that you wanted to be super serious about training, and Monday through Friday, you're going to go 2 hours a day. Saturday, Sunday, if you want to play video games, like if you want to play video games all day or whatever, dude, you can do that. And the other thing about the weekends is you don't have school. So that 7 hours for school is also taken away too. So,
Right.
I mean, you could stack it up that way. Like there are a million ways to mix and match and to organize your schedule. But the main thing is just prioritizing it and, getting rid of excuses. Like they're always going to be there. There's never going to be a time where you're going to like wake up. Like there are days all the time where I wake up and I'm just like even today, for example, I'll give an example. Like I didn't go to bed till 3 a.m. last night. I just couldn't sleep for whatever reason. That happens to me all the time. So I didn't want to get up I was supposed to get up at 7 and go lift. I didn't. But we rescheduled and we're going to go lift tonight before we play basketball. Because the only time we can get into the gym, because it's in season, is 9. So we're going to go lift at 7:30. And then right after, we're going to go play basketball. And that's fine. Right? Sometimes your schedule just gets messed up or, for whatever reason, you have to switch things around. My whole thing is, still finding a way to do something, still put in the time. So even though I'm not working out at the time that I prefer to work out at and normally work out at, I'm still going to get that work in. Right? So it's just, if you want to make it happen, you're going to make it happen. And if you don't want to make it happen, you're not going to make it happen. And most kids don't want to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like I was just one of the coaches I follow on social media just posted the updated. I guess it's updated. I used to think it was like closer to 5%, but it basically said it was like 3% of high school male basketball players. It might be 5 when it's combined female and male, but 3% of high school male basketball players go on to play like on the next level. Like D1, D2, D3, I think.
All right.
But super small percentage, man. Like, and all these kids are always like, and I don't think that, we'll do episodes where we talk more about like the difference between D1, D2, D3, all that stuff. And, but too many kids are focused on, I got to go D1, but don't have anywhere near like D1 work ethic, D1 talent. Like, unless you're like super tall, crazy athletic, super fast, something like that.
Right.
Like you need, and even then, right, you still need something about your skill set to separate you from the norm, right? So only 1%, 1 out of every 100 high school basketball players gets an opportunity to play on the Division I level. And even of those players, lots of them end up like transferring out or not making it. So it's really like less than 1%.
Right.
Like, are you outworking 99% of people? I mean, you got to ask yourself that, right? Kids have to ask themselves that. You have this goal, which is completely fine to have this goal. I don't think that, it's unattainable for most kids. Like, I think most kids, even players that people are like, oh, that kid could never, if they had put in time for years, right, consistently, working on their skills, working on their weaknesses in a purposeful, structured way, I think that they can gain the skills necessary to play on that level or to bring value to that level.
Yeah.
Right?
It's hard to do by yourself, though. You had Larry, and, I know that helped a lot, dude.
Yeah, it helps.
A lot. Having that person to hit you up or you hit them up and like, yep, we're getting in the gym. Yep,
Yeah,
we're doing
it
this.
helps. But you can also find someone to work with, like that's just a teammate, or find a way to work by yourself. Like, I've worked out by myself like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Like there are ways to do it. Like if you want to get it done, you can get it done. And then like the gym excuse that lots of kids have, and I understand it's tougher in a place like Michigan where we have winters and you can't necessarily go outside, but there's nothing wrong with training outside. Like the only reason I just stopped training outside is because when I got to college, they were like, it's really hard on your knees. I would recommend that you stop doing it because you already don't have great knees,
All right.
or at least your one knee. And that's really the only reason why I stopped. But growing up, dude, in the spring and summer, we used to train outside all the time, all the time. But kids like now think that they're like way too good for it. Like on days where like I'm out of town, because I travel like a lot, especially in the summers and stuff. And I can't get in the gym with the kids. Like they're always like, oh well, I guess we're not working out today. I'm like, dude, it's Grand Ledge, Michigan. Like there are a bunch of outdoor courts, and it's a super safe community. Like get your ass outside.
All right.
Like you're not too good to work out outside.
Yeah,
You're not. But a lot of kids like, oh, that's their excuse. Well, oh, we can't get in that air conditioned gym.
Yeah, those double rims build character.
Dude, they do build character, man. They do build character. Ugh, man. Just thinking about it. I prefer to not work out outside, but if you have to, there's nothing wrong with working out outside. Or even just, it's like, oh, well, I don't have access to a hoop. Like, what's wrong with going outside and just, work on your dribbling for 10 to 20 minutes, which is a lot for dribbling. Like, and you'll see, like, because you get super tired. If you're pushing yourself hard, 10 to 20 minutes dribbling is like a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. But, I mean, if you want to be good and you don't have anything else to do, why not work on that?
All right.
Right? I mean, you can do like at-home strength conditioning, right? And that's another reason why like we added all that type of stuff to the Blueprint Athletes app, is to get rid of kids' ability to come up with like excuses, right? So we have literally right now on there, we have 6 months of at-home strength conditioning, right? Just great strength conditioning stuff come up with by Mike Morrison. He created those guides. Super great strength coach out of Atlanta, former Atlanta Hawks strength coach, super smart guy. And, kids will still like find excuses like, oh, I want to work on strength and conditioning, but I don't have a weight room. Oh, okay, great. Well, there's an app with, fantastic at-home strength conditioning guys. And, it's like, it was funny. I had, Barry was like, he's like, oh yeah, I looked at him. He's like, they're too easy. I'm like, too easy, huh? And then I took him through one before we did basketball one day, and he literally couldn't finish.
Yeah.
And it was like on the beginner one. And I was like, too easy, huh? Like when you do it how it's instructed, because it's supposed to be like a circuit. So there's like 6 to 8 workouts. You do them for whatever the time or sets and reps, back to back to back to back to back, rest for like a minute or two, and then go again, right? When we did it like that, like the dude, it was beginner, right? And there's 2 beginners, 2 intermediates, and 2 advanced. So he was on the most basic of 6, and he was dead. And I was just like, dude, don't ever, like stop. And that's just another excuse. Oh, it's too easy. It's too easy. Like I've had other kids be like, they'll hit me up and they'll be like, yeah, I've been using the app for a few months, but the workouts are just too easy now, and I need something harder. I'm like, dude, and even if you were in the NBA, like the crazy part is like a lot of these workouts, especially in the advanced guides, are stuff that we do like on the pro level all the time or at the college level. I'm like, dude, just stop it. It's the way that you go about the workout. Of course, if you're just like walking through it and not doing anything right, it's not that challenging.
You get out what you put in.
Dude, exactly.
Yeah.
Like when you actually go through and you actually like go at game speed, you do everything right for the, the proper amount of sets and reps, and everything in the app for the most part, except for some of the games, is makes. It's not shots, it's makes.
Yeah.
It's makes. There is no way it is easy. No way.
No.
And for anyone who thinks that, like, dude, you can come train with us anytime. We'll put you through a workout, and it's not easy. It's never going to be easy. And if it is too easy, I guarantee that you're not doing it right, or you're just going through a half-ass.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just more excuses. It's more excuses. Kids like always have a reason, Get rid of that. It's just a toxic way to think, and it'll seep into like every aspect of your life. Like you'll find excuses for everything.
Yeah. We got to start handing out like sprints or push-ups
For the excuses.
per each excuse, in our workouts.
Maybe.
Just tally it up.
Yeah, and dude, it's not like we're not sitting up here like, oh, we're perfect. Like we've never, like, dude, I know you've had a ton of excuses like in the past.
Yeah.
I know I've had excuses. Like, there's definitely, less so when it comes to like basketball and sports, and more so when it comes to like, homework and grades and stuff like that, like especially like with math. Like we talked about it like on a past episode, but dude, like when I used to say in high school, like, oh, I just, there must be something wrong with me. I was not good at math. Dude, I was so bullshitting. Like, dude, I was lying my ass off. Dude, I never studied.
Yeah.
Like that'd be like never working on your game ever and then being pissed when you get into the game and can't do anything. Like what? like, dude, it was just an excuse. I was making an excuse because I didn't like it
All right.
and I didn't want to do it. And that was it. It was an excuse.
Yeah.
It was a lie. It was bullshit. Right? But that's the same thing that kids do every single day with their game and their strength conditioning and all of it. Right? And just changing the way that you think, changing the way that you approach, that process will literally change your life. And it will help you to feel less stressed out. Like when you have a bunch of unknowns in your life, it's stressful. Like when you can like structure, your life and schedule and just knock things out, check things off, there's a good like relief type feeling that comes with that. Like especially over time, it really like builds up and it becomes, it just becomes like a habit.
Right.
And it's just second nature to, to plan accordingly, and to organize your schedule in a way that suits who you are personally. Right. And if you know that you're never going to be able to hold yourself accountable, dude, you need to get a friend and you guys need to hold each other accountable. Like you were talking about earlier, like, oh, you always had Larry, Like, dude, I did have Larry and it was good. He did hold me accountable. And on days in high school, like, dude, come on, especially like my senior year, like of high school, I probably worked the least amount I ever did, from like 8th grade when I started like really training,
Right.
like hard, to my senior year was probably my laziest year.
Because you had your offers and your girlfriend.
Dude, exactly,
and,
exactly. Like, dude, I'm going to admit this right now. I've never admitted this before. Sorry, Coach Sweet. Literally before the district championship game, and I'm a dick for this. Seriously, I'm a dick for this. I literally told him I wasn't feeling good. The practice before the district championship game against Holt, just because I didn't want to go and I just want to hang off my girlfriend.
Oh my God.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, dude. Get rid of that stuff. Don't do that. And that's the thing. I didn't do that stuff. Like that was the only time I ever did something like that. But it was like a horrible time to do something like
It's
that.
a horrible time.
Like before the last game of my high school career. But I was just, I don't know. But that's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah,
It can get anyone. Because I had been so disciplined for the most part before that when it came to like working out. And I would even work out after practices. Like me and Larry would go to Aim High or, do whatever. And it can get anyone at any time, right? We're all human and you'll probably still make mistakes. But it's just something you kind of just have to accept and
recognize and take care of it.
And just do better going forward, right? And I never did anything like that again, like before any game. Like I never prioritized. No, not like that.
No, you couldn't get away with that in college anyways.
Yeah, no,
there's no way.
I couldn't. And in the pros, you don't really get away with that either. So that was the first and last time I got away with something like that. But it was horrible timing. Yeah. It was horrible timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I guess one thing that we didn't mention that I should have mentioned, I just thought about is getting in work before and after practice. Like people underestimate like coming to practice like 20 minutes early and staying after practice for like 20 minutes. Dude, that's 40 minutes of like extra skill work in season.
Right.
Like what if you came in 20 minutes early, did like 5 to 10 minutes of dribbling, did some spot shooting, maybe a little shooting on the move, whatever. Pick a couple drills, right? Go to the Blueprint Athletes app, pick like 3 drills. Do them before practice. And then after practice, do like free throws or work on whatever weaknesses. Like, in practice, I was really struggling, hitting this shot from this play. Like, let's say it was like a flex action and the cross screen. Like, I was really struggling, with sealing and putting the person on my back and finishing. And then just repping that out, right? There's times before and after practice, right, that normally you'd just be chilling anyway. You'd be there.
Right.
You'd just be sitting around, talking, goofing around. Dude, there's like valuable time, valuable pockets to just knock skill work out right there. Right. So just being smart with your time is just like so crucial. Man, yeah. Okay, so I wanted to finish with I want to finish with this quote from like one of my favorite books. It's called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's really good, really quick read, but it's something that you'll read like 100 times. Like I've easily read it like probably 200 times. It's a quick read, but it's so valuable, and it's something you'll go to again and again and again once you see like that value.
Mm-hmm.
But in it, you know, a lot of people will say like, well, what if I do all these things and put in all this time and, you know, it still doesn't work out or I still don't get what I want? And James Allen in the book says something like, even if a man fails again and again to accomplish his purpose, as he necessarily must until weakness is overcome, the strength of character gained will be the measure of his true success and will form a new starting point for his future power and triumph, right? So everyone's like, you know, they want the results now and they want them to be guaranteed. But what they don't realize is that that journey, like who you become along the way as a person, is like the true value of like the training. It's not necessarily what you get out of it, right? It's the person that you become. So keep that in mind when you go into this, right? It's not necessarily, you're not going to get everything you ever wanted just because you trained, but I don't think I can almost guarantee that it's not going to be something that you regret.
You'll never look back and be like, man, like, I wish I didn't work so hard. Like,
maybe. I mean,
there's no way.
Not training wise. Like, I don't think so.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
to better yourself, to improve your skills. Like, if you're just like mindlessly working at a job, that's different.
For sure.
But like to better yourself, to strengthen yourself, to push yourself, right? To grow, to persevere. Yeah, I don't think you'll ever regret it. So if you guys want to tell us that we're insane, or you want to tell us, you know, what you think about this, reach out, blueprint.athletes at Instagram, right? That's where we would prefer that people reach out to us. If you're a little bit more old school, we're totally fine with that. And you want to reach us on Gmail, also blueprint.athletes. Josh, you have anything else?
Nothing.
All right. Until next time, this has been the Blueprint Athletes Podcast. Blueprint Athletes Basketball Podcast. Thanks for listening.